So you're thinking about turning your shower into your own personal steam spa. That's an awesome project. But let's be real, a successful installation requires some pretty careful planning. In this explainer, we're going to walk through all the essential steps, from the initial ideas all the way to the final safety checks to help you make that dream a reality.
I mean, that's the goal, isn't it? A personal sanctuary right there in your own home? But to actually get to that spa-like relaxation, the installation has to be pretty much perfect. And that all starts with getting the fundamentals right from day one. Okay, so before we even think about picking up a wrench or connecting a single wire, it's absolutely crucial to understand something. A steam system isn't just another simple appliance. It requires a lot of careful planning to make sure it works safely, effectively, and, without causing a ton of damage to your home. Your first move should always be to grab these two documents, the manufacturer's installation manual and your local building codes. And look, these are not just suggestions. They are your blueprint for safety. They're going to dictate everything from what size pipes you need to all the electrical requirements. So now that we have our foundation of rules and codes, we can move into the fun part, the blueprint phase. Planning the location is about so much more than just finding an empty space. It's really about designing a system that's going to be efficient, quiet, and easy to maintain down the road. Choosing the right spot for the generator itself is a critical first decision. I mean, think about it. You want it in a nearby utility space, somewhere close enough for an efficient piping route, but you also need to be able to get to it easily for any future service. You've got to think about noise, protecting the unit from moisture, and, just as importantly, making sure the steam room itself is sealed up tight. With the location planned out, we can focus on the technical heart of the whole installation. See, any steam generator relies on three core connections: power, water, and drainage. And getting these right, well, that's completely non-negotiable. First up, let's talk electrical, which is the most critical connection when it comes to safety. Your generator needs its very own dedicated circuit, and it has to be sized correctly for its power rating. And that GFCI or RCD protection that's mentioned, that's a must-have. It's a safety device that shuts off the power instantly if it detects a fault, which is a lifesaver in a wet environment. Next up is the water supply. Now, this might seem pretty straightforward, but you have to pay really close attention to the manufacturer's specs. Some units are designed for cold water feed, while others might need a hot one. Getting this wrong can seriously mess with its performance and efficiency. And finally, drainage. A proper drain is essential, and not just for getting rid of water. It's really about the long-term health of your unit. A good drain flushes the system out and helps stop all that nasty scale from hard water from building up and wrecking the heating elements. This brings us to a really critical question, and you gotta be honest with yourself here. If you have even the slightest hesitation about electrical work, the advice is simple: hire a licensed electrician. It's not just about getting it right, it's about safety. It's about protecting your investment. Because, incorrect wiring can be super dangerous and will almost definitely void your warranty. Okay, with the core utilities connected, let's focus on the star of the show, the steam itself. The goal here is to control it perfectly, making sure it fills your steam room just right, while also protecting the rest of your home from any moisture damage. This whole process really boils down to 4 key stages. First, you've got to install the steam piping correctly, with a continuous slope so water doesn't collect anywhere. Second, control that condensation with proper insulation. Third, make sure you have proper ventilation to manage moisture outside the steam room. And finally, you have to completely seal the room with a vapor barrier to protect your home's structure. Each of these steps builds on the last one. All right, we're on to the final stage. The heavy lifting is pretty much done, and now it's time to install the controls and do those critical final checks before you can finally kick back and enjoy your new home spa. Precision is absolutely everything here. The temperature sensors, the timers, the control panel, they all have to be wired exactly according to the diagram. And pay special attention to any emergency shutoff features. These are the things you hope you never need, but they have to work perfectly. So double check everything. So before you use it for the first time, you need to run what's called a commissioning test. This is basically your final quality control check. You're going to leak check all the water connections, verify the electrical operation, test the steam output under controlled conditions. You'll want to listen for any unusual noises or if it's heating up slowly. Keep an eye out for any error codes on the control panel and confirm that the drainage system is actually working. Trust me, catching a small issue now is so much better than discovering a big one later. And this brings us to a really key takeaway. You have to know your limits.
Handling the planning and maybe some of the basic plumbing is a great DIY project, but pairing your preparation with professional help for those high-risk steps, like the electrical and the waterproofing, that is the smartest and fastest path to a safe, reliable home spa. So, with this blueprint in hand, you're not just dreaming about a home spa anymore, you're actually planning it. You now have the knowledge to decide which parts of the project you can tackle yourself and when it's probably a good idea to bring in an expert. The ultimate relaxation is really just one well-planned installation away.